So, doesn't my CAD software already do that? Can't we just create screenshots and things like that? Um, one of the staff at SolidWorks, one of the territory technical managers actually, went in a head-to-head competition with Composer versus SolidWorks for creating technical graphics and implementing them inside of their final publication process. What you'll see is we're going to go through a time comparison. Now the image on the right is SolidWorks. That came from SolidWorks. The image on the left came from 3D via Composer using the SolidWorks data, the models in SolidWorks. Now at this point, I'm going to start a clock as we tap through the next few slides, and I'll explain what's happening in each slide. So the cover shot. This cover shot is what we're going to use in the front page of our manual. The cover shot on the left took about 5 minutes to create inside of 3D via Composer. It's not photo quality, not quite photo quality, but it's a really nice rendering. It looks pretty crisp and concise. It gives you a great idea of what you can get out of 3D via Composer. It gives you a good idea of what you're looking at, what you're building. It took about 5 minutes to create. The image on the right is from SolidWorks, and this took about 45 minutes to create and render and to capture. The next process was to create a parts list or a BOM callout. Again, in 3D via Composer, this process took all of about 10 minutes to build our view and to actually create the parts list and put all the callouts on. In SolidWorks on the right, it took us about 30 minutes to create the exploded view, to build the bombs, to number the bombs. Not saying that SolidWorks isn't a fast solution for engineering, but it's not a fast solution for technical documentation. That's the difference. So far, we're up to a 15-minute time frame in Composer versus an hour and 15 minutes in SolidWorks. Again, 3D via Composer is a technical graphics, technical documentation software. SolidWorks is an engineering software. They're both very good at what they do. So this next image, again, for creation inside of 3D via Composer, took about 15 minutes. What's nice about 3D via Composer is you can see the red arrow and the little warning symbol. All those are what they call actors inside of 3D via Composer, and those are quickly accessible. 3D via Composer gives you a library of what are called collaborative actors. In other words, little icons that you can use to help show what you're trying to communicate. The picture on the right took about 2 hours in SolidWorks. Reason being, again, somebody had to go through and create all those same images. They had to really make an effort to locate everything in specific locations because SolidWorks doesn't allow the freedom of movement that Composer does. On the flip side, Composer doesn't allow the accurate movement that SolidWorks does. Again, now we're up to a 30-minute in Composer versus 2 hours and 35 minutes in SolidWorks. Next thing is we're going to publish a bunch of images. So in Composer, we build image after image after image, save those images, and then we can do a mass publication. We can get those out very quickly. In SolidWorks, we don't have the freedom to create images so easily. We rather have to create configurations, and in each configuration we then have to go in and suppress or unsuppress or move or reconfigure where those components lie. So in SolidWorks, again, it took about 30 minutes to create all of our necessary views versus 5 minutes inside of Composer. And finally, what happens when we make a design change? Well, in Composer, all we do is re-import the solid models, and all of our images update at that point. Anything that we've done will update to meet the design changes. In SolidWorks, we're not so lucky. We now have to go back and redo all of that work that we've already done. So in Composer, it took about 10 minutes to do a full and complete update and accurate. And in SolidWorks, it took us about 3 hours and 15 minutes extra to rebuild everything. So you can see that when you're trying to create technical publications, technical documents, working inside of SolidWorks can be a bit cumbersome. Same thing as if you're taking pictures. Whereas if you're working inside of 3D via Composer, it's pretty significantly faster.